Chapter 31, All except the boss and the clerk are wanted. You are listening at novelfull.audio. People say that when women are unhappy, they can relieve depression by going crazy shopping. In fact, it is not only women, but also men. And if the money spent is not their own, it will be more stress-relieving. Mal Yang. Here. Mal Yang, the lucky general, jumped out from the crowd of disciples. I will buy something in Yuching next. Please ask me who is the largest chamber of commerce in Yuching now. Let them come. I need them to transport the things I buy later to Haotian sect. Ah. Senior brother Xinghe, we have Qinquan ring. Mal Yang waved his hand, but Chu Xinghe shook his head. Mal Yang did not ask a word more. He just did what senior brother Xinghe arranged. Soon, Mal Yang found the largest chamber of commerce here in Yuching. Wow! The largest chamber of commerce here is actually their Haotian chamber of commerce. The person who came was a middle-aged man in his 40s. After seeing Chu Xinghe, he saluted respectfully. His name is Chu Xinghe. He is the branch president of the West District of Haotian Chamber of Commerce. If he were put outside, he would definitely be a super ruthless person. On weekdays in Yuching, anyone who sees Chu Xinghe must call him Master Qin, but today, Master Qin was so respectful when he saw Chu Xinghe, because when Mal Yang found him, he had already told him in detail who Chu Xinghe was, the direct disciple of the Great Elder, the owner of the Suzaku Spirit Fire and Medicine Saint, the owner of the Haotian Sword Box. The sect master wanted to accept him as a direct disciple, but was directly rejected by senior brother Xinghe, but the sect master was not angry, and he taught Haotian's fighting spirit and gave him the Haotian order. Senior brother Xinghe also became the first disciple in the history of Haotian sect who abused the Haotian order but was only imprisoned for 3 months. So what kind of person is senior brother Haotian? Mal Yang asked Chu Xinghe to think about it himself. Is there any need to consider this? Chu Xinghe can become the president of the West District branch, not just because he has a big belly. Although Chu Xinghe was born as an outer disciple, many outer disciples of Haotian sect cannot enter the inner sect after a certain number of years, and Haotian sect will also arrange other jobs for them. For example, entering the Chamber of Commerce is one of the ways. Chu Xinghe went from an outer disciple to the chairman of the Western District of Haotian Chamber of Commerce. You can imagine how versatile he is, so after listening to Mal Yang's introduction to his senior brother Xinghe, Chu Xinghe knew. There is absolutely nothing wrong with treating this person as the great elder and serving him personally. This person is not sure whether he will be the next leader of Haotian sect or the leader of Lingyi Palace in the future. Chu Xinghe, the chairman of the Western District of Haotian Chamber of Commerce, I meet senior brother Xinghe. Chu Xinghe called him as soon as he opened his mouth, but there was nothing wrong with this title. No matter how powerful Chu Xinghe was, he was just an outer disciple. It was not an exaggeration for him to call Chu Xinghe a senior disciple when he met him. President Qin, I don't dare to be a senior brother. Chu Xinghe was speechless when he looked at Chu Xinghe, whose hair was a little white. Brother Xinghe, you are joking. You are from the inner sect, and I am from the outer sect. It is the rule of Haotian sect that the outer sect members call each other brother. Although I, Chu Xinghe, don't often go around the sect, I never dare to forget the sect rules. Chu Xinghe said this and Mal Yang nodded. Chu Xinghe was helpless, but he didn't intend to continue to care about it, and directly spoke out his plan for today. President Qin, I plan to buy some things in Yuching. It's considered as bringing some gifts back to my brothers and sisters and elders in the sect. Ah. How many copies do you want to bring? I can help you choose. Everyone has one, including the outer sect. Chu Xinghe. Chu Xinghe was really shocked this time. Everyone has one. How many people are there in Haotian sect? There are 18 palaces in the inner sect alone, plus the Haotian palace, which is equal to 19. The palaces with more people even have tens of thousands of people, and the fewest have thousands or even tens of thousands. By this calculation, the total number of disciples in the inner sect of Haotian sect is definitely an extremely large number. It is no exaggeration to say that in the Haotian mountain range, where the world's #1 sect, Haotian sect, is located, every mountain and every palace is like a city. Give everyone, including the outer disciples, a gift? To be honest, Chu Xinghe couldn't figure it out. It doesn't matter. We use the form of blind boxes, buy more, and then everyone draws a blind box, and what they get is what they get. Seeing Chu Xinghe's confused look, Chu Xinghe also told his plan, blind box. Chu Xinghe didn't understand, but Chu Xinghe explained it, all the gifts are shuffled, and then packed in boxes of different sizes but exactly the same appearance. When the time comes, everyone can choose what they choose. This unique way of giving gifts made Chu Xinghe confused. He originally thought that Chu Xinghe was going to bring some valuable gifts to the sect master and the elders, but he never expected. Ma Liang was also shocked. No wonder senior brother Xinghe didn't use the Qianquan ring. The Qianquan ring couldn't hold this amount. Although Chu Xinghe didn't understand why Chu Xinghe did this, he immediately arranged for someone to prepare the box Chu Xinghe mentioned. Chu Xinghe followed Chu Xinghe to start shopping in Yucheng. He took Chu Xinghe to the largest commercial street in Yucheng, which is the largest trading area in Yucheng. But a few minutes later, Chu Xinghe saw what Xinghe shopping is like. This store looks good, I want it. I want it. What do you want? Except for the boss and the clerk, I want everything. Ah. Okay. Okay. This store is not bad either, it's all gold and silver jewelry, I want everything. This jewelry store is okay, I want them all. This store, forget about the clothes, I bought all the decorations. Others judge the item when buying something, but Chu Xinghe judges the family when buying something. So the entire commercial street was boiling in just a few moments. A super rich man came to Yucheng. He didn't even pick out items when he bought them. Once he bought something, it was a shop. After scanning the entire commercial street, Chu Xinghe swept away basically all the goods that could be scanned, except for a few stores that Chu Xinghe didn't like. None of the shop owners were in the shop today. They all stood outside the shop to greet him. They had seen rich people before, but this was the first time they had seen such rich people. Chu Xinghe was also ashamed at this time. In Haotian sect, if you ask which palace is the best, no one will accept it, but if you ask who is the richest, if Lingyi Palace says that it is second, the other palaces will definitely call Lingyi Palace shameless. But how rich is Lingyi Palace? Chu Xinghe met today, because Chu Xinghe said that these are pocket money given by the senior brothers. Listen, pocket money, can you buy one street and then another with your pocket money? If it weren't necessary, Chu Xinghe doubted that Chu Xinghe could buy Yucheng and move it away. The shopping continued until the evening. Chu Xinghe bought out 7 blocks in Yucheng in a row. The whole Yucheng was talking about the super rich sweeping Yucheng. In the evening, everyone did not return to Haotian sect because the teleportation array had to be prepared, so everyone also stayed in Yucheng. But this time, Fan Lu was not chosen. After all, Chu Xinghe was here, and the Haotian Chamber of Commerce was also here. How could he let his family live outside? Chu Xinghe directly arranged for everyone to rest in the western branch of Haotian Chamber of Commerce. After dinner, Chu Xinghe accompanied Chu Xinghe around the Haotian Chamber of Commerce, but after walking a few steps, his subordinates came to report. If you have anything to say, just say it. Senior brother Xinghe is a member of our Haotian sect. Chu Xinghe looked at his subordinates and spoke directly. Upon hearing this, his subordinates quickly saluted Chu Xinghe and then said something. President, Jia Gui from Tingxue Tower is here again. Didn't I tell him to let him go? Why are he still here? Chu Xinghe was furious, and glanced at the confused Chu Xinghe beside him. Chu Xinghe quickly explained, Senior brother Xinghe doesn't know something. Our western district branch is closest to Lingmai Mountain. Across the Yulin Mountains is Lingmai Mountain. Therefore, our western district is also responsible for the raw ore mining of Lingshi. A big mine came out a few days ago, and several chambers of commerce, including our Haotian Chamber of Commerce, bought a large amount of rough stones from the big mine. This batch of rough stones only needs to be transported from Lingmai Mountain to the Shi family in the East District and then change hands. 10 times the profit. Qin Xiangqian said that the Shi family was one of the three great families in the world, even ranking above the Huang family. The Shi family started with spiritual stones, and the fact that the world's spiritual stones come from the Shi family is not just talk. The Shi family purchases a large number of raw spiritual stones from various parties all year round, and then uses the Shi family's special techniques to separate the spiritual stones from the raw stones. The large mine discovered in Lingmai Mountain this time was discovered by the elders of the Shi family. It turned out to be a super large mine that could produce high-grade spiritual stones. All parties rushed to buy it. The raw stones were transported from Lingmai Mountain to the Shi family. As long as they arrived at the Shi family and used the Shi family's techniques to peel off the spiritual stones, the price would be at least 10 times higher. Earn Your Blood, Tingxue Tower, where Jia Gui is located, is also one of the 10 major sections. Tingxue Tower got the news late, so it didn't get the original stone at all. Jia Gui asked his grandfather to sue his grandmother and asked for help. He knew that the rough stone purchased by Haotian sect the quantity is the largest, so he is willing to pay 5 times the price of the original stone to purchase the spiritual stone in the hands of Haotian sect. Can Qin Xiangqian agree to this? We have already bought the rough stones. As long as they are shipped to the Shi family, we will earn 10 times as soon as they are opened. Now you really want to buy them and only give us 5 times the price. We are stupid. Doesn't this make our Haotian sect suffer losses? Qin Xiangqian finished explaining to Chu Xinghe very excitedly, but when Chu Xinghe heard the word loss, his eyes lit up. It could have been earned 10 times, but now if it is sold at 5 times the price, does that mean that the Haotian sect has invisibly lost 5 times? You can do this arithmetic yourself. President Qin, take me to see the rough stone. Chu Xinghe said. Qin Xiangqian naturally didn't say much and took Chu Xinghe to the underground warehouse of Haotian Chamber of Commerce. Soon, in the warehouse, Chu Xinghe saw mountains of rough stones. Good guy, so many rough stones, and the price increased tenfold. Chu Xinghe's eyes lit up. Senior brother Xinghe, as long as this deal is completed, our western district will definitely become the first of the 4 districts this year. These rough stones are enough to supply our Haotian sect's consumption for a year. Qin Xiangqian's eyes turned red, and so did Chu Xinghe's. Haotian sect's share of spiritual stone consumption for 1 year. This is an astronomical number that you will definitely not be able to calculate by yourself. Suddenly Chu Xinghe decided. Sell the rough stone to Jia Gui. Ah. Qin Xiangqian looked at Chu Xinghe in confusion. $window, _tabula equals window, _tabula, _tabula. Push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula below article feed, placement, below article feed, target _type, mix. Chapter 32 Suing Chu Xinghe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I said, sell all the raw stones here to Jia Gui, we only want 5 times the price. This. Senior brother Xinghe, this won't work. If we sell it to Jia Gui now, we will lose half of it for nothing. Qin Xiangqian didn't know what happened to Chu Xinghe, but before Qin Xiangqian finished speaking, Chu Xinghe already had something in his hand. I said, sell all these raw stones to Jia Gui of Tingxue Pavilion, only 5 times the price, sell it tonight. Chu Xinghe held the elder's order in his hand, and Qin Xiangqian also knelt on the ground, but Qin Xiangqian really couldn't understand Chu Xinghe's request. Obviously you can make 10 times the profit, what does it mean to not want the remaining 5 times? Senior brother Xinghe has the elder's order in his hand, I have to obey this order, but please tell me why. If senior brother Xinghe can't give me an explanation, then even if senior brother Xinghe has the elder's order, I must go to the sect to ask for an explanation. Hey. What about unexpected gains? Give you an explanation. Give you a hammer explanation. Did I tell you that I was going to make the sect lose half of its money? Isn't it okay for me to be open about my cards? You're still going to sue me after causing such a huge loss to the sect. That's great, the sect knows about this, and I used the elder's order recklessly. TSK, this time I'm sure to lose my status as a direct disciple. Chu Xinghe didn't give Qin Xiangqian any explanation, but once the elder's order came out, Qin Xiangqian had to obey. When Jia Gui got the news that Haotian sect was going to sell the raw stones, he was numb. He had already given up hope, but Haotian sect actually bought it. Is Qin Xiangqian crazy? But he didn't care about that. Jia Gui asked people to prepare a large amount of spirit stones overnight and swallowed up the raw stones of Haotian sect in one go. Although it cost 5 times the original price of these raw stones, as long as they were sent to the Shi family for processing, they would make 5 times the profit. Is Haotian sect a fool? Not only Jia Gui, Qin Xiangqian also thought Chu Xinghe was a fool, but the elder's order forced him to obey. However, Qin Xiangqian had already said that he would return to the sect with them this time. This matter involved too much, and he had to report it to the sect master truthfully. Such a loss could not be counted on Qin Xiangqian. Qin Xiangqian had a sleepless night and was so angry that his hair almost turned white. Chu Xinghe had a sweet dream and woke up with laughter several times at night. Once this batch of raw stones was sold, it was equivalent to directly losing half a year's share of spirit stones for Haotian sect. I just want to ask how I lost this time. Today is a good day. Ba ba ba. Why are you singing this broken song again? It's unlucky. Chu Xinghe got up early in the morning and had a good breakfast with his junior brothers and sisters, but compared to Chu Xinghe's happiness, his junior brothers and sisters were all confused. Obviously Qin Xiangqian had told others about the matter. The lucky General Ma Liang ran to Chu Xinghe cautiously. Brother Xinghe, is Jia Gui your brother-in-law? Get lost. Chu Xinghe kicked this guy. What kind of brain is this? Am I such a superficial person? Am I pursuing money and beauty? From today on, I will be a noble person, a great person, a person who is free from vulgarity, a person who only cheats the sect. Although Ma Liang couldn't figure out why Brother Xinghe was like this, he could only believe that Brother Xinghe was definitely not an ordinary person. In the next few days, Qin Xiangqian didn't come to Chu Xinghe again. Originally, this batch of raw stones could make him the leader of the 4 major divisions this year, and it would make him one step closer to the legendary position of the president of the Haotian Chamber of Commerce. But Chu Xinghe's interference made Qin Xiangqian feel a pain in his liver. Qin Xiangqian had already thought about how to report the matter truthfully. This pot was too big, and Qin Xiangqian couldn't bear it. He felt even worse when he thought of Jia Gui taking the raw stone away with a happy face. Counting the days, Jia Gui's side will almost be delivered to the Shi family. This is a 5-fold profit for nothing. The teleportation array was finally ready. When they came, there were 100 people, but when they returned, there were only 101 people. Qin Xiangqian, whose hair had turned a few strands white, also returned to Haotian sect, the familiar dizziness and vomiting, but this time only Qin Xiangqian vomited. Although the others also looked ugly, they did not vomit, probably because of the improvement of their cultivation. The smoke and dust dissipated, and everyone had appeared on the martial arts field of Haotian Palace. In front of the palace gate of Haotian Palace in the distance, headed by the sect master Gu Mingqiao, the great elders behind him and the chief elders of each palace were all available. Meet the sect master and elders. Chu Xinghe saluted with the 100-man group. Ha ha ha. Okay. Good kids. We already know how each of you performed outside this time. The sect is very satisfied with your trip to the spirit cave, but you should not be proud of it. After all, you still made some mistakes. You should reflect on yourself after you go back, and never make the same mistakes again in the future. But when the sect master said this, his eyes swept over Ma Liang. Ma Liang's tears fell. The sect master's words were equivalent to saying that he already knew something, but he didn't intend to pursue it anymore. He finally got over it. Looking at senior brother Xinghe in front of him, Ma Liang knew that he could have what he had today, all thanks to senior brother Xinghe. Afterwards, Ma Liang gave the spiritual liquid in the Qianquan ring to the elder to refine the marrow cleansing pill. The disciples of each palace also left under the leadership of the chief elders of each palace. Before leaving, everyone ran to Chu Xinghe to salute and thank senior brother Xinghe for taking care of him along the way. Many elders nodded with a smile when they saw this scene. Qin Xiangqian's heart trembled as he watched from the side. It's not that he had never seen a direct disciple of Haotian sect, but it was the first time he had seen a direct disciple like Chu Xinghe. The 100-man group came from various palaces, and their respect for Chu Xinghe was not because of Chu Xinghe's position as the leader, but was truly from the heart. Looking at the sect master and the elder, the way they looked at Chu Xinghe was like looking at their own son. The other elders not only did not have any dissatisfaction with Chu Xinghe's being so prominent, but each of them was extremely kind. What the hell is this Chu Xinghe? Although Ma Yang introduced so much, Qin Xiangqian still couldn't understand it. It's acceptable for a person to have good opportunities, good luck and good talents, but what the hell is it for a person to be liked by everyone? And today, according to the normal rules, everyone should enter Haotian Palace to meet the sect master and elders, but why did the sect master and elders come out to greet them? I remember your name is Qin Xiangqian, right? The branch president of the West District. The elder waited until everyone left before looking at Qin Xiangqian who had come back with him. Disciple Qin Xiangqian, I pay my respects to the sect master, to the elder. Qin Xiangqian saluted hurriedly. Qin Xiangqian looked at the elder in front of him. The elder looked at him coldly at this moment, without any kindness as when he looked at Chu Xinghe. But Qin Xiangqian knew that he had to report the truth no matter what, so he gritted his teeth and said, report to the elder, this matter is related to senior brother Xinghe, senior brother Xinghe. Qin Xiangqian was interrupted by Gu Mingqiao before he finished speaking. If you have anything to say, go to Haotian Palace and talk. Good guy. Qin Xiangqian originally wanted to speak out now that there were many people around, but the sect master found out that it was not a good thing. What did he want to do by letting him enter Haotian Palace? To protect Chu Xinghe. He wouldn't kill people to silence them, right? Even though he was the branch president of the West District, if he died in Haotian Palace, no one would dare to ask what happened. With fear and trepidation, Qin Xiangqian followed into the Haotian Palace. This was the first time in his life as an outer disciple that he had entered the Haotian Palace. However, he was not in the mood to appreciate the luxury of the Haotian Palace. Instead, he knelt directly in front of the great elder and the sect master. This is what happened. Qin Xiangqian was thinking about whether to exaggerate, but now he definitely didn't dare to do so, so he could only tell the whole story. When Qin Xiangqian finished speaking, the great elder looked at Chu Xinghe on the side. Is what he said true? The great elder still had a loving face. Qin Xiangqian regretted it, because he looked at the great elder's expression, and he knew that at this time, as long as Chu Xinghe said that he didn't know, the great elder would kill him without hesitation, and then let him be the scapegoat. After all, he was too naive. Qin Xiangqian knew that he was afraid that he would not be able to escape today, but just when Qin Xiangqian was ready to be the scapegoat and die, Chu Xinghe spoke. He is right, it's me. Ah. Qin Xiangqian was dumbfounded. The elder and the sect master also frowned. In fact, when Qin Xiangqian said those things, their first reaction was that they didn't believe it, but Qin Xiangqian had no reason to lie. What good would it do for him to sue Chu Xinghe? But this deliberate loss of the sect should not be something that Chu Xinghe, a child, could do. If someone would betray the sect, the elder would not think it was Chu Xinghe even if he suspected the entire Lingyi Palace, including himself, so this matter is weird. Xinghe, tell me, what do you think? Gu Mingqiao said on the side, what do you think? Chu Xinghe is also desperate now, what else can I think? I just plan to make the sect lose, but of course I dare not say it so directly, otherwise I will be killed directly. Just when Chu Xinghe was thinking about how to make up a reason not to be killed, suddenly a golden light flew from a distance. It was a golden spirit bird. Gu Mingqiao grabbed the air with his hand, and the spirit bird had already flown into Gu Mingqiao's hand. This is the spirit bird of Haotian sect responsible for transmitting important information. Generally, the spirit bird will only appear when something major happens, so at this moment, Gu Mingqiao didn't care about anything else and opened the spirit bird first to see what the information was. And at this glance, Gu Mingqiao was stunned in place. He looked at Chu Xinghe and then at Qin Xiangqian who was kneeling on the ground. Suddenly, he laughed, and laughed very happily. Ha 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 ha, good boy. Xinghe, you are such a good boy. The elder was stunned, took the spirit bird from the sect master, and after taking a look, he also laughed, ha ha ha. So that's it, Xinghe, this kid, almost made us misunderstand him. Qin Xiangqian was stunned when he saw this scene. What is going on? Chu Xinghe was also stunned. Although he didn't know what was going on, but there was a bad premonition. Chapter 33 Senior Brother Xinghe's Demeanor. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sect master and the great elder laughed out loud, which made Qin Xiangqian shudder, and Chu Xinghe also had an ominous premonition. Soon, the great elder directly opened the information of the spirit bird, and the content of the information was also presented to Chu Xinghe and Qin Xiangqian at the same time. When Qin Xiangqian saw the content above, he was stunned. Chu Xinghe felt as if his heart was stabbed. Damn. Sure enough, the bad premonition came true. The information on the spirit bird was very simple. Something went wrong with the raw stone. After the raw stones produced by the large mine were sent to the Shi family, it was discovered that the raw stones did not produce any high-quality spirit stones at all of them were the lowest grade. This is good now. The 10 major sects have spent a lot of money to buy the raw stones, and the Shi family had explored them before, and bought them only. After confirming that there was no problem, as a result, can the sects agree to this now? The fight started right at the Shi family, and the head of the Shi family was beaten to the point of spitting blood. The various sects even said that if the Shi family did not give an explanation, the various sects would never give up. It is said that the one who beat the head of the Shi family to the point of spitting blood was someone from the Tingshui pavilion, and one of them, Jia Gui, seemed to have fainted, because compared to the other sects, although everyone suffered a lot of losses, they only lost the base price and could not get 10 times the price. It was a loss, but not a huge loss. But the Tingshui pavilion was different. They were the ones who bought the raw stones of the Haotian sect at the highest peak, and paid 5 times the price. The Haotian sect had the most raw stones, so they did not lose blood, but were bleeding. Chu Xinghe looked at the information of the spirit bird and felt that he was about to faint on the spot like Jia Gui, but just when Chu Xinghe was about to spit blood, the doom compass turned again. What the hell is this? Just when Chu Xinghe was wondering, the doom compass stopped at the peak of the 3rd grade cultivation. I got a reward. What the hell is this? Didn't I not cause the sect to lose money, but also made a lot of money? Why is there a reward? But in an instant, seeing Qin Xiangqian, who looked ashen beside him, Chu Xinghe thought of something. Good boy. It seems that you discovered that there was something wrong with this batch of raw stones in advance. The art of identifying stones is also included in the inheritance of the medicine saint. Why didn't you tell Qin Xiangqian in advance? Otherwise he wouldn't have to come and complain, making me and the sect master think that you were doing something wrong again. The elder looked kind. When he heard about Chu Xinghe just now, the elder was really shocked. After all, the last time the Haotian order was in front, although he authorized it this time, he really couldn't protect Chu Xinghe with the elder order, causing the sect to suffer losses. At that time, he would definitely be severely punished. The elder was very puzzled why Chu Xinghe did this, but now he suddenly understood. He even imagined that Chu Xinghe was a good kid, and that he was afraid that the sect would suffer losses, so he did not hesitate to use the elder order. The reason why he was unwilling to tell Qin Xiangqian first was probably because he was worried that the news would leak out. Ha ha ha, the inheritance of the medicine saint is indeed extraordinary, but the medicine saint did not choose the wrong person. This child is really blessed by God. Qin Xiangqian, now things are clear. You have to thank Xinghe for cleaning up the mess for you. If Xinghe had not taken action, do you know what would have happened to you? The voice of the sect master became majestic again. Qin Xiangqian, this time you are a blessing in disguise. As for your previous lawsuit against Xinghe, I think Xinghe is broad-minded and will not treat you the same way. This matter ends here. Yes. Qin Xiangqian looked ashen at this time, and saluted the sect master and the elder and left. Good boy, you should also go and rest first. The elder waved his hand to let Chu Xinghe leave. Walking out of Haotian Palace, Chu Xinghe saw Qin Xiangqian, who was in a state of despair in the distance. In fact, he was not the only one who was in a state of despair at the moment, and Chu Xinghe was not much better. but the third-grade peak reward of the Doom Compass was at least a little comfort. Qin Xiangqian. Xing. Senior Brother Xinghe. Qin Xiangqian still looked in a state of despair, but he panicked again when he saw Chu Xinghe. How much did you keep? Ah. Qin Xiangqian's legs softened when he heard Chu Xinghe's words and he almost knelt on the ground. Fortunately, Chu Xinghe caught him quickly. People say that Mao Yang is a lucky general, but Chu Xinghe thinks Qin Xiangqian is the real lucky general. If it weren't for him this time, he would have really lost everything. Fortunately, he was disobedient and should have hidden some raw stones, which caused the sect to suffer losses. Although it was indirect, it was also related to himself, so he got the reward. Chu Xinghe felt that he must keep such a disobedient and chaotic person. In this era where everyone is cheating themselves, it is really not easy to find a lucky general like Qin Xiangqian. Xing. Senior Brother Xinghe. I deserve to die. I deserve to die. Qin Xiangqian was so frightened that his face turned pale. How much did you leave? 1/10. Senior Brother Xinghe, I really don't know your good intentions, I. Qin Xiangqian was really panicking at this time. He knew that if this matter was made public, no one could save him. Disobeying the elder's order, just for this, Qin Xiangqian would die 100 times. Okay, I know about this. No matter what method you use when you go back, plug the hole yourself. This matter ends here. Chu Xinghe said lightly. Hearing Chu Xinghe's words, Qin Xiangqian was stunned. At this moment, he really couldn't believe it. Senior Brother Xinghe actually let him go. I didn't know that he had good intentions and actually came to the sect to sue him, but Senior Brother Xinghe didn't hold a grudge and didn't tell the sect master that he had secretly left the raw stone. Now he gave himself a chance. Let him go back and plug the hole. Qin Xiangqian was really convinced at this moment. When he first came to Haotian Palace and saw so many people respecting Senior Brother Xinghe, and even the elders of each palace liked Senior Brother Xinghe, Qin Xiangqian didn't understand why, but at this moment he knew. He understood. If he called Senior Brother Xinghe before simply because Chu Xinghe had a high status, then at this moment he called Senior Brother Xinghe and it had nothing to do with status. He was really convinced and was completely convinced by Senior Brother Xinghe's mind and demeanor. A person was misunderstood and complained by others, but he didn't bear grudges, but eventually helped this person. What a noble person he is. Pa! Qin Xiangqian slapped himself hard. Brother Xinghe. I will remember what happened today. Thank you for letting me go. Okay, don't be like this. You have worked hard for the sect for so many years. You have no merits but you have worked hard. But you must remember this matter. There must be no next time. Brother Xinghe, don't worry. From today on, if Brother Xinghe tells me to go east, I will never go west. If he tells me to chase a dog, I will never chase a chicken. Qin Xiangqian left the Haotian sect with infinite respect for Chu Xinghe. In this raw stone incident, because Chu Xinghe intervened, the Haotian sect became the only winner. Although Chu Xinghe was uncomfortable, fortunately, the real lucky general Qin Xiangqian still helped him, so it was not completely without gain. Not long after Qin Xiangqian left, the people of the Haotian caravan finally arrived at the Haotian sect. When a large number of vehicles pulled countless boxes with the Haotian sect cloud pattern logo into the Haotian sect, countless people watched. What is this? I don't know. I heard that Senior Brother Xinghe bought it. Ah. What did Senior Brother Xinghe buy? This is too much. I don't know. How much does it cost? Senior Brother Xinghe is a disciple of Lingyi Palace. I heard that the senior brothers of Lingyi Palace treat Senior Brother Xinghe as a jewel in the palm. Is this money considered money for Lingyi Palace? That a large number of blind boxes were sent to Haotian sect, and just when everyone was discussing what Chu Xinghe was going to do, the blind boxes were distributed. Elders. This is the first time for the disciple to go down the mountain. I want to bring some gifts to the elders and brothers, but I don't know what everyone likes, so I use this method. There are everything in the blind box. No matter what is opened, it is a little thought of the disciple. Please don't laugh at me. Chu Xinghe sent the blind boxes to the elders of each palace one by one. The elders who received this kind of gift for the first time were stunned, but then they couldn't help laughing. This kid. In the past, there were disciples from various palaces who went down the mountain, but they would bring back some precious gifts, but these gifts were all given to those who could help them or might bring them some improvement. Although there is nothing wrong with giving gifts, some people who don't get any gifts will still feel a little sad. But Chu Xinghe's method is interesting. All the things are put in the blind box, and he himself doesn't know what he is giving. From the sect leader to the elders and then to every disciple, even the outer disciples, Chu Xinghe prepared a blind box for them equally. If you are an elder, you may get a useless rag doll, and if you are an outer disciple, you may also get a treasure of extremely high value. This approach not only makes everyone feel fresh, but also nods secretly to Chu Xinghe's equal behavior. This kid really put his heart into it. The elders received the blind box, and Gu Mingqiao also received one. When Gu Mingqiao opened the blind box and looked at the grasshopper doll inside, he couldn't help but smile knowingly. This grasshopper doll is cheap, but at this moment in Gu Mingqiao's eyes, it is more precious than the various treasures brought back by those disciples, because Chu Xinghe's approach is first fair, and second, he treats everyone equally. How can Gu Mingqiao not like such a Chu Xinghe? Gu Mingqiao carefully placed the grasshopper doll in the most conspicuous position of his treasure shelf. Compared with the priceless treasures around it, the grasshopper doll may not be worth mentioning, but in Gu Mingqiao's heart, it is far more precious than those treasures, because others give gifts with ulterior motives, while Chu Xinghe gives gifts with sincerity. Is there any gift in the world more precious than sincerity? Chapter 34 Pure Actors Ask How to Lose. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The entire Haotian sect can be said to be very lively these days, almost comparable to the Chinese New Year. From the sect leader to an outer disciple, even the uncles and aunts responsible for cooking in the cafeteria, all received blind box gifts from Chu Xinghe. What everyone has been discussing the most these days is who prescribed what. I heard that what the sect master brought out was a grasshopper doll. Wow! Is it true? I thought senior brother Xinghe was just talking about it, but I didn't expect it to be a blind box. The sect master also has a blind box. What you are saying is that other people don't know the nature of senior brother Xinghe. Don't I, a disciple of Haotian sect, also know it? Senior brother Xinghe has never been the kind of person who flatters superiors and bullies subordinates. This gift is out of your heart and is definitely not flattery. Gifts from the top. In the past, those people who came back from going out would prepare various gifts for the elders and sect leaders. How could we be taken lightly by others? But if you look at senior brother Xinghe again, this person is afraid of comparison. I heard that a disciple from the outer sect got a spiritual pendant made of high-grade spiritual stones. That is extremely valuable. What's the matter? Our first elder heard that he got a rag doll. Ha ha ha. Those who got the good things were happy, and those who couldn't get the good things were not sad, because the sect leader got the grasshopper doll, and the elders also got the rag doll, which was not bad compared to their own. Everyone in the entire Haotian sect was happy to get the blind box. At the same time, everything about the 100-man group's trip to the spiritual cave was also spread after the 100-man group returned. Everything that Chu Xinghe did with his 100-man group was also known to everyone in the Haotian sect. For a time, both the elders and the ordinary disciples secretly nodded at what Chu Xinghe and the 100 group had done. Be brave and resourceful. He is willing to help others, is as warm as spring to his fellow students, and is as cold as winter to his enemies. Everyone in the Haotian sect secretly praised Chu Xinghe's actions, especially when he finally got back all the spiritual liquid. The 3,000 new disciples cheered that senior brother Xinghe is so handsome. They were originally sad because they were unable to enter the 100-man group and the spiritual cave to cleanse the marrow and cut bones. However, this time the spiritual liquid was brought back, and everyone could get at least one marrow cleansing pill, although it was not as effective as the spiritual cave. But it is definitely full of benefits. It's a huge improvement for everyone. Senior brother Xinghe has brought huge benefits to each of the 3,000 people. How could this not make everyone happy? Everyone in the Haotian sect was in jubilation, except for one person, at the outer door. Chu Xinghe, who was finally able to get out of bed, also received the blind box from Chu Xinghe. Chu Xinghe, you thief! It's despicable to buy people's hearts like this. Chu Xinghe was so angry that he threw the blind box on the ground. The blind box broke and a rice dumpling doll fell out. I don't know how it happened, but the color and wrapping method of this rice dumpling doll looked so similar to Chu Xinghe's at this moment. Chu Xinghe thief! You actually insulted me like this. Chu Xinghe grabbed the rice dumpling doll and tore it into pieces, but this did not relieve the anger in his heart. Who is he? He is Chu Xinghe, the most talented person in the Backing village. That thief Chu Xinghe was ranked behind him. As the number one person in the village, his future must be to become a person who can reach the ninth heaven with a 3-foot sword in his hand. Even though he temporarily suffered various unfair treatment, Chu Xinghe firmly believed that this was just a test given to him by the road of heaven. As the saying goes, when heaven is about to entrust you with a great responsibility, you must first work hard on your mind and body. I am going through this test. As long as I can survive it, I will definitely leap over the dragon's gate and soar into the sky. But who is Chu Xinghe? How dare you humiliate yourself like this? He is just the second-ranked little bastard in the mountain village. He will always be stepped on by himself. Chu Xinghe shouted and finally felt a lot more comfortable, but just when Chu Xinghe was about to lie back and continue to enjoy the test before his great appointment, the door was kicked open. The people headed by Lu Bo, the fat-headed fish, walked in with an unhappy look on their faces. What the hell, what is this bitch yelling about here? I just took a shit and almost made him pinch his shit out of my throat. Hey, this is the blind box sent by Senior Brother Xinghe. You little thing, you actually broke the heart of Senior Brother Xinghe. Senior Brother Xinghe is from the same hometown as you, and you have helped you again and again, but you are so cruel. What, you tore this gift into pieces too? Damn it! I can't stand it anymore. Senior Brother Xinghe is such a good person, but you are such a piece of shit. Brothers, get on here. No one knows how long this group fight lasted, but what is certain is that heaven will assign a great responsibility to Chu Xinghe, and he will definitely suffer for the first half of the year. The incident at the outer sect did not reach Chu Xinghe's ears, because Chu Xinghe was busy refining the marrow cleansing pill these 2 days. The marrow cleansing pill is a 4th-grade elixir. As a 4th-grade alchemist, Chu Xinghe naturally had no problem refining it. Moreover, because of the inheritance of the medicine saint, Chu Xinghe really cried. The great elder said that the marrow cleansing pills refined by others are of ordinary quality. What a waste! What you, Chu Xinghe, have refined is of the highest quality, and it will be a great help to the junior brothers and sisters. So, all the marrow cleansing pills were directly handed over to Chu Xinghe for refining. Chu Xinghe was stunned at that time. Didn't I expect this to happen despite all my calculations? Isn't this a punishment? Don't care about the compass of doom. Is there any royal law for this? Is there any heavenly principle? Chu Xinghe was refining medicine in Yawang Palace every day with a mournful face, and many senior brothers and sisters in Yawang Palace were not idle. They informed the user of every top-quality marrow cleansing pill distributed. Do you know? Junior Brother Xinghe refined this for you personally. In the entire Lingyi Palace, only Junior Brother Xinghe can guarantee the refinement of the best marrow cleansing pill. The difference between the best marrow cleansing pill and ordinary marrow cleansing pill is not even a little bit. For your sake, Senior Brother Xinghe has not left the medicine palace for half a month, and we all feel heartbroken when we see him. With the great help of the senior brothers and sisters, every junior brother who took the marrow cleansing pill burst into tears of gratitude. Look, this is our Senior Brother Xinghe. He is doing his best to help the younger brothers and sisters grow up faster. The elders of each palace also expressed their gratitude to Lingyi Palace for taking so much trouble to Chu Xinghe, but it's okay that they didn't thank him. As soon as they thanked him, the great elder became even happier. He stared at Chu Xinghe personally. Even if he wanted to show off, he had no chance, and under such harsh training, Chu Xinghe was not without gains. At least he had reached the 5th level of refining medicine. It took Chu Xinghe 2 full months to refine all the marrow cleansing pills. The moment he walked out of the Medicine King's palace, Chu Xinghe understood what it meant to be released after serving his sentence. What kind of fifth-grade alchemist? That's all bullshit. I hate alchemy the most. Shit. Back in the room, Chu Xinghe planned to be a salty fish. If I don't want to die next, I can just show off. After the rough stone incident, Chu Xinghe knew that even the brightest cards were not invincible. He had to have a more reliable method, otherwise he would not make a move easily, otherwise he knows what the consequences would be. Junior brother Xinghe is finally out of seclusion. Feng Fei came back and laughed when he saw Chu Xinghe lying there like a dead dog. Senior brother Feng, just stab me to death. I feel like I have no hope of life. That won't work. I just got news that people from Emperor Wu City and Tianyao Palace are coming soon. This time they are coming with bad intentions. The elders of each palace are now gathered in Haotian Palace, discussing how to deal with it. Is there going to be a war? Chu Xinghe was surprised. It's not a war. Our Haotian sect ranks first in the world, and Emperor Wu City is second only to the Haotian sect. For many years, Emperor Wu City has been trying to surpass the Haotian sect and become the best in the world. Then make them super. Chu Xinghe couldn't help but want to interrupt Feng Fei. Feng Fei continued, but Emperor Wu City is far behind our Haotian sect in terms of foundation and strength. Trying to surpass us is tantamount to wishful thinking, but Emperor City is not willing to let it go. 15 years ago, they proposed the idea of a disciple practicing martial arts is that the best new disciples of each generation in their martial Emperor City will come to Haotian sect, saying they want to ask for advice. Actually, you understand. As for the Tianyao Palace, it is the only wealthy medicine refining family that can compete with our Lingyi Palace. This time, I came with Emperor Wu City to ask for advice, but in fact, I am in the same boat. After Feng Fei finished speaking, Chu Xinghe's eyes lit up. I guess, this generation of entry-level disciples, junior brother Xinghe, you will definitely appear, and not only against martial Emperor City, but also against Tianyao Palace, you will definitely be required to take action. After Feng Fei finished speaking, Chu Xinghe said cautiously, what should I do if I lose? Losing? Junior brother Xinghe is joking. In the past 15 years, our Haotian sect has only lost one battle with Emperor Wu City, and that time it was actually because the disciples were not very good at it and were extremely arrogant. But that time the failure of the field also damaged the reputation of our Haotian sect. For this reason, our Haotian sect paid a huge price to finally stabilize the situation, so junior brother must not think about losing. Once we lose, not only the sect will be damaged. Junior brother, you will definitely be severely punished. After all, this is against Emperor Wu City. Losing will mean losing the sect's face. Then it will be useless even if everyone pleads for mercy. Chu Xinghe burst into tears. Senior brother Feng Fei, what a wonderful senior brother. Emperor Wu City. Just because you are so kind and righteous, sooner or later you will be the number one in the world. If you don't have the ability, I, Chu Xinghe, will have to lift you up. In 15 years, they have only lost once, and after the loss, the sect's reputation was damaged and its face was lost. It cost a huge price to stabilize the situation. How embarrassing it would be for the Haotian sect, the best in the world, to lose to Emperor Wu City, the second best in the world. But for things like embarrassment, Chu Xinghe said that I am not afraid of embarrassment. I am a person who has made embarrassment my lifelong goal. Come to Emperor Wu City to challenge, right? I, Chu Xinghe, am duty-bound. Just look at it, you only lose once in 15 years, right? I will give you a second and third time, because I will definitely lose in Tianyao Palace. It won't be easy for anyone to come. Seeing Chu Xinghe's excitement, Feng Fei thought Chu Xinghe was excited because of the challenge. Junior brother Xinghe, you must go to war, and there are rumors outside that you should be the chief representative of this generation against the opponent's chief, but I also heard that the guy named Zheng Yu on the other side has the supreme inheritance of Emperor Wu City's 7-color glaze. The body is not that easy to deal with. Not that easy to deal with. Chu Xinghe was excited again, it's just that it's not that easy to deal with. If you are really a loser, you won't be able to act well. The opponent is too strong, so you might as well lose naturally. Senior brother Feng, don't worry. If I can fight on behalf of the sect, I will definitely live up to the sect's trust. Feng Fei looked at Chu Xinghe with a look of fighting intent on his face and showed a look of satisfaction, and Chu Xinghe seemed to see the light waving towards him. Today. Ba ba ba. I will definitely not sing this song this time. As an actor of the best actor level, I will fight with real swords and guns, without any interference. I am just an actor and I wonder how I can lose this time. Chapter 36, Dark Opening. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Haotian Mountain Range, the gate of Haotian sect is open today. The elder personally went to the gate to welcome the visitors. Such a big scene is mainly because the person coming this time is Qing Xiaotian, the lord of Wudi City, a person who can compete with Gu Mingqiao. The strong naturally have the treatment they deserve. Lord Xiaotian's city has come from afar. Haotian sect welcomes you. The elder warmly invited Qing Xiaotian and others into the gate. Everyone greeted each other all the way to Haotian Palace, and Gu Mingqiao also waited in the Haotian Hall for a long time. When the elder led the people from Wudi City and Tianyao Palace to the gate of Haotian Palace, Gu Mingqiao also stood up from his seat and went outside to greet them. While walking, Gu Mingqiao said to Chu Xinghe, who was standing aside, "Xinghe, follow me." Okay. Chu Xinghe followed the sect master without knowing why, but the faces of the other elders around changed. You know, a big sect like Haotian sect has many rules of its own. For example, when receiving a distinguished guest like the city lord of Wudi, there are clear regulations on where everyone should stand, and the position behind the sect master can only stand two people, one is the great elder, and the other is the chief disciple. The sect master let Chu Xinghe stand in that position at this moment, which is equivalent to acknowledging that Chu Xinghe is the chief disciple of this session. Many elders looked at each other, but no one said much. After all, Xinghe's ability and character are there, and no one would object to him becoming the chief disciple. Brother Mingqiao. Brother Mingqiao is still as elegant as ever after 10 years. Xiaotian City Lord is joking. In the past 10 years, Xiaotian City Lord has been really famous all over the world. While Gu Mingqiao and Qing Xiaotian were being polite, the people from Haotian sect also looked at the three young men following behind Qing Xiaotian. The one standing in the first place is a guy who looks like the protagonist from a comic book, as if he is standing in the light. He is Jingyu, the peerless genius that the elder said is only once in 1,000 years, and behind Jingyu is a girl carrying a long sword. Although the girl looks ordinary, the sword behind her is not ordinary at all. The sword is like alive, shaking constantly behind her, as if it is ready to be unsheathed at any time. Sword intent. How old is this girl, but she has cultivated sword intent. An elder saw the mystery hidden in the sword behind the girl, that is sword intent, the sword intent that people who practice swordsmanship dream of, but sword intent is difficult to achieve. How many people have worked hard for a lifetime, let alone have their own sword intent, and even the threshold of sword intent has not been touched, but this little girl in front of him has already comprehended her own sword intent at a young age. This time, Wudi City is really here with bad intentions, and then, the third person, that is a boy who is 2 meters tall, his skin is a strange gray, and his muscles make people wonder if he will burst his clothes at any time, but this guy looks a bit ugly, and he doesn't seem to be very smart. It's the blood of the ancient dragon rhino. Wudi City actually found a disciple with the blood of the ancient dragon rhino, that the knowledgeable elder of Haotian sect recognized the dragon rhino blood in this third person, good guy, a sword genius who comprehended the sword intent at a young age, and a dragon rhino blood. Either of them is definitely a genius among geniuses, but these two people are ranked behind Zhengyu, who seems to be nothing special. Why is this Zhengyu? Is he handsome? In addition to Wudi City, Wu Kun, the master of Tianyao Palace, also brought the genius of Tianyao Palace, a girl who looks like you don't know whether to say she is an adult or not. If you only look at her height and appearance, you will definitely think that she is underage, but if you just glance at her chest, you will know that you may be too arbitrary to say that she is underage. The girl is staring at Jingyu at this moment, and she has never left since she entered the door. I guess the girl has even thought about where she and Xingyu will grow old together and be buried after death. Wu Kun coughed and introduced the little girl, named Luo Ying'er, and Chu Xinghe. Also remembered the names of the two people from Woody City. The sword girl is named Xiaoling, and the big rhino is Jingbo. What Chu Xinghe couldn't believe the most was that the big rhino Jingbo was Xingyu's biological brother. Chu Xinghe could only say that their parents were really awesome. Are they sure they don't check who is not their biological brother? Gu Mingqiao also briefly introduced Chu Xinghe and others, and everyone's eyes naturally fell on Chu Xinghe. I have inherited the Haotian sword box. I want to see the flying sword technique. Qing Xiaotian looked at Chu Xinghe with a smile. It is no longer a big secret that Chu Xinghe got the Haotian sword box. The legend of the 9 flying swords has spread all over the world. You can learn from your senior brother Xinghe. Yes. Xingyu has met senior brother Xinghe. Ah. Junior brother Xingyu is too polite. Let's learn from each other. Gu Mingqiao led everyone to sit down. In order to welcome Wu Deqing and his friends, Haotian sect prepared a grand banquet. The banquet was boring. It was just to listen to the elders of both sides talking about Versailles. Chu Xinghe brought Wan Lin and Ma Liang to toast each other to express their welcome. Xingyu drank the wine in a glass and kept saying polite words such as asking senior brother Xinghe for advice in the next few days. Xiaoling used tea instead of wine because she had just learned the sword intent and was afraid that drinking would not be able to suppress her sword intent. The big rhino ignored Chu Xinghe and just ate the chicken leg by himself. This guy is not very smart, he just has a bad brain. Finally, it was Luo Ying'er. Even when Chu Xinghe came to toast, this girl did not take her eyes off Xingyu. Chu Xinghe left helplessly, but junior sister Wan Lin said that she got along well with Luo Ying'er and sat next to Luo Ying'er, but Chu Xinghe watched the two of them chatting, and junior sister Wan Lin's hand, why did she put it in a place where it shouldn't be? And the look she gave Xingyu. The two girls, Luo Ying'er looked at Xingyu with shining eyes, but junior sister Wan Lin looked at Xingyu with eyes. Why did she feel a sense of hatred for killing her father and stealing his wife? The banquet ended in a harmonious and pleasant atmosphere. Haotian sect also arranged accommodation for the guests. Chu Xinghe followed the elder to send the guests to their residence and then went back to rest. After a dreamless night, Chu Xinghe was called to the Medicine King Palace by the elder early the next morning. The martial arts competition will be held tomorrow. The first match is between Wan Lin and Xiaoling, the second is between Ma Liang and Jingbo, and the third match is between you and Xingyu. Chu Xinghe nodded. I have discussed with the sect master last night. It may be difficult for Wan Lin to win this first match. Chu Xinghe also agreed with the elder's words. Wan Lin is very good, but Xiaoling has comprehended the sword intent at a young age. In this way, even if she and Wan Lin are both third grade, the difference in combat power is not a little bit. Although Chu Xinghe looked worried, he had already started to sing in his heart. What is this called? Opening the door black. In the first match, Wan Lin's junior sister knelt down, and Haotian sect was defeated by others. Opening the door black, is there anything more fun than this? If Ma Liang loses to the big rhino again in the second game, it will be even more perfect. I will definitely not let them down in the third game. 3 defeats in 3 games, is there any more perfect ending than this? Even if Ma Liang can't win in the second game, he won't lose. The blood of the ancient dragon rhino is the blood with the strongest defense, and Zhengbo should be practicing the unique martial arts of Wudi City, the elephant armor skill, which has brought defense to the extreme. But you also saw yesterday, this guy. The elder pointed to his head and everyone understood what he meant. So Ma Liang can't break the opponent's defense in this battle, but Ma Liang has an absolute speed advantage, and the opponent can't do anything to Ma Liang. In the end, it is likely to be a draw. Draw. Okay. It's not unacceptable. So the victory or defeat is still between you and Xingyu, and even the first 2 games are just a prelude. Winning or losing is not important. As long as you can defeat Xingyu, Wudi City will still lose even if it wins the first 2 games. That the elder looked at Chu Xinghe solemnly. Chu Xinghe nodded heavily. I'm sure, as the saying goes, the greater the expectations, the greater the disappointment. This time, Chu Xinghe didn't need to make any military orders. As long as he performed at his level and output limit in this game, and lost shamelessly, no one could save him, and even the reputation of Haotian's sect would be damaged. The elder smiled at Chu Xinghe's serious face. Xinghe, don't put so much pressure on yourself. Just like you said, don't be afraid of failure and dare not even desire victory. The elder patted Chu Xinghe's shoulder heavily and left with a satisfied look. After the elder left, people from all palaces came to cheer Chu Xinghe. Brother Xinghe, you are the best. What is that, Xingyu? Knock him down. Brother Xinghe, you have to believe in yourself. With your strength, as long as you play normally, you will have no problem winning. Brother Xinghe, you will definitely win, but can you not hit Xingyu's face? It would be a pity if it gets hurt. These are the sisters from Qilin Palace. As expected, appearance is justice. This elbow is almost bent on Xingyu's bed. Later, more people who wanted to cheer Chu Xinghe were stopped by the elder. The reason was not to put so much pressure on Chu Xinghe. But pressure. I put my hands in my pockets that year and didn't know what pressure was. At night, Feng Fei looked at Brother Xinghe sleeping normally without any pressure and couldn't help shaking his head and sighing. Brother Xinghe is really an extraordinary person. Haotian sect, the largest martial arts arena, was full today. The entire Haotian sect, all who could come, gathered in the martial arts arena, and the sect master personally presided over this martial arts competition. After a few polite words about the close relationship between Haotian sect and Wudi City, the martial arts competition officially began. Under the attention of the crowd, Wan Lin stepped onto the martial arts stage, and the big stick in his hand looked particularly eye-catching. Chu Xinghe took a look. The stick in junior sister Wan Lin's hand was called Panlong Three-Section Stick, which was a spiritual weapon that was united with her soul, and she was practicing the Rui stick method, the supreme skill of Qilin Palace. Chu Xinghe just couldn't understand why Qilin Palace, which had all female disciples, liked to study stick methods. Is it the decline of morality or the distortion of human nature? Or, make up for what is lacking? Chapter 37, Understanding the Meaning of the Stick. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wan Lin took the stage with the Panlong Three-Section Stick in his hand, and the martial arts arena suddenly erupted in cheers. This is home field advantage. Xiaoling flew up and landed lightly on the martial arts stage. The two stood opposite each other, and the great elder standing in the center of the martial arts stage announced the start of the first fight after getting the two's nods to confirm that it could begin. Without too much courtesy, the dragon's shadow suddenly appeared in Wan Lin's hand. The Panlong Three-Section Stick, which was only about half a meter long, suddenly expanded several times, like a super-large chicken leg, and the drumstick was wrapped around it. Holding a greedy and crying dragon, Wan Lin took a step forward with a huge chicken leg in hand, and swung the chicken leg with the dragon's shadow and smashed it towards Xiaoling. But when faced with the Panlong Three-Section Stick falling from the sky, Xiaoling didn't even have the slightest intention to dodge. Buzz! Just as the chicken leg was about to fall on her, the sword behind her suddenly buzzed. The sword was pulled out of its scabbard by Xiaoling amid crazy vibrations. The sword was unsheathed, and nothing could suppress Xiaoling's sword intent. In an instant, the sword intent shot straight from Xiaoling to the sky, and the terrifying sword intent seemed to be able to tear everything apart. There was no need for Xiaoling's command at all. The soaring sword intent directly collided with Wan Lin's big chicken leg in the air. Under the sweep of the sword intention, the shadow of the big chicken leg was split in mid-air by the sword intention. The sword intention turned into a storm and swept around, and the shadow of the big chicken leg was completely torn into pieces by the sword intention. But the violent sword intent did not end. The sword intent fell from the sky like an awakened wild beast, and rushed towards Wan Lin to kill him. Wan Lin used the Panlong Three-Section Stick in his hand to block it, but the sword's intention was too violent, and the huge impact directly knocked Wan Lin's body upside down, and he fell from the martial arts stage. Buzz! The sword intention returned to Xiaoling's side. The sword was sheathed, and the sword intention was resealed. Accepted. Xiao Ling spoke calmly, as if he was talking about a very trivial matter, but at this moment, the entire Haotian sect martial arts arena was completely silent. Everyone watched with disbelief on Wan Lin's face as he was sent flying to the martial arts stage by a sword move. Some people may have thought that Wan Lin would lose, but no one thought that Wan Lin would lose in this way, one move. Was he instantly killed with just one move? But everyone also knew that it wasn't that Wan Lin was too bad, but that Xiao Ling's sword intent was too terrifying. Even though the violent sword intent that suddenly shot up into the sky has disappeared, it still makes everyone feel lingering fear. It is hard to imagine that such a gentle and quiet little girl could have such a violent sword intent. Lost. Losing now. It's too fast. Senior sister Wan Lin didn't even have time to show all her strength. It's useless. Junior sister Wan Lin's opponent's sword power is too terrifying. Wan Lin is no match for him. After a brief silence, the stand suddenly exploded. Haotian sect has been having martial arts competitions with the disciples from Emperor Wu City for so many years, but this is the first time such an instant kill situation has occurred. In the past, no matter who wins or loses, the winner can basically be determined at the last moment, but today, Wan Lin was directly killed with one move. This gap is a bit too big. Although Qing Xiaotian tried hard to hold back the smile on his face at the moment, it was useless no matter what he did, because he was happy from the bottom of his heart. They, Emperor Wu City, had competed with the Haotian sect for so many years, and although they had won, they were all narrow wins, but today it was such a clean victory, that was the first time. On the other hand, Gu Mingqiao, although he always had a smile on his face, his smile looked stiff. Junior sister Wan Lin. A figure came out from a short distance away and came directly to Wan Lin. Chu Xinghe looked at Wan Lin, who was sitting there blankly. Wan Lin was like a wooden man who had been cast on a body-fixing technique, sitting there blankly, his eyes no longer as bright as before. The most difficult person to accept this result at this time is not the people around him, but Wan Lin himself. I had been preparing for this battle for so many days, and countless senior sisters and brothers came to give me ideas and solutions, but in the end, I was defeated with just one move. After losing so humiliatingly, Wan Lin felt that he really had no face to live in this world anymore. Just when Wan Lin was despairing, a voice brought her back to reality. Junior sister Wan Lin, there is nothing to be sad about. You lost not because you are not good at cultivation, but because the other party has sword intention and you don't have stick intention. Senior brother Xinghe. Wan Lin looked up and saw that the person in front of him was senior brother Xinghe. Wan Lin burst into tears and threw himself into his arms. Junior sister Wan Lin, I don't blame you for this defeat. It's because the opponent's sword intention is too strong. When you understand the stick intention in the future, you will definitely be able to win back. Chu Xinghe comforted Wan Lin while already singing in his heart. It's time. Open the door. Junior sister Wan Lin really did not disappoint herself. This game was so bad that she asked herself how she could lose this time. Great intention. Senior brother Xinghe, what is great intention? Wan Lin Lihuo looked at Chu Xinghe with rain in her eyes. It's a great idea, ahem, it's actually very simple. Have you ever heard of Jiu Qian and Yi Shen? That's a great idea, and have you ever heard of Jiu Shen and Yi Qian? That's also a great idea. 9 deep and 1 deep are great ideas. 9 deep and 1 shallow are also great ideas. That Wan Lin stared at Chu Xinghe, and when he saw Wan Lin's eyes, Chu Xinghe secretly said something bad. He accidentally got on the highway, but just when Chu Xinghe was about to change the topic and continue to comfort Wan Lin suddenly erupted with a terrifying wave, which even pushed Chu Xinghe away from Wan Lin. What is this? Chu Xinghe looked at Wan Lin in front of him with a confused face, but just when he was wondering, the voice of the great elder suddenly came from not far away. Everyone be silent, Xinghe, don't touch her. Your junior sister Wan Lin has an epiphany. Epiphany? What the hell? Chu Xinghe was confused, but Chu Xinghe was not the only one who was confused at this moment. Everyone in the audience felt their heads buzzing. What happened just now? Wan Lin was defeated by Xiao Ling in this first game, and he looked desperate. Chu Xinghe ran to Wan Lin and said something to Wan Lin, but Wan Lin suddenly had an epiphany. So, Chu Xinghe opened the door to epiphany for Wan Lin just now. Not only the people on the Haotian sect side looked unbelievable, but the people on the Wudi city side were even more so. Xingyu sat aside and watched Wan Lin after being defeated. He knew that if Wan Lin could not adjust herself in time, then today's battle would become her lifelong demon, and her future might also be greatly affected by this battle. When Chu Xinghe rushed over to comfort Wan Lin, Xingyu's first reaction was that it was of no use at all. Wan Lin at this time could not be solved by comfort, and she needed to get out of the predicament by herself, but Xingyu's thoughts were not gone. Wan Lin directly entered into enlightenment, and this scene made Xingyu dumbfounded. This Chu Xinghe, what did he do? It turned out that he could make a person not decadent but enlightened after suffering such a great setback. Just when everyone was wondering what Chu Xinghe did, a terrifying shock wave rippled from Wan Lin. As the shock wave rippled, Wan Lin grabbed his Panlong 3-section stick, and the next second, in full view of everyone, a fluorescent light suddenly appeared on the Panlong 3-section stick, which continued to spread and eventually covered the entire Panlong 3-section stick. The fluorescent light seemed to add a layer of phantom to the Panlong 3-section stick, and this phantom continued to expand and shrink on the Panlong 3-section stick. If you count carefully, this phantom will suddenly expand after every 9 ripples, and then expand again 9 times and shrink once. This is the meaning of the stick. 9 return to 1. The elder widened his eyes and looked unbelievable. Wan Lin also woke up from his epiphany at this time. When he saw the meaning of the stick on his Panlong 3-section stick, Wan Lin knelt directly in front of Chu Xinghe. Wan Lin thanks senior brother Xinghe for your guidance. Wow. The scene exploded. The meaning of the stick. Wan Lin actually realized the meaning of the stick in this situation. What's even more terrifying is that this stick meaning was actually realized under the guidance of Chu Xinghe. Everyone's eyes fell on Chu Xinghe, who looked indifferent. At this moment, even the sect leader Gu Mingqiao felt incredible. How did Xinghe do it? In just a few words, Wan Lin could understand the stick meaning. And it was the strongest stick meaning, Jujiugui. Xingyu looked at Chu Xinghe with a serious face. Before coming to Haotian sect, he had heard countless things about Chu Xinghe, but when it came to Chu Xinghe, he said that he was today because of the flying sword in the Haotian sword box. At most, he was lucky, but after seeing it with his own eyes today, he realized that everyone was wrong. This Chu Xinghe is unfathomable. Although the battle between Xiao Ling and Wan Lin just now was only a moment, Chu Xinghe must have grasped the true meaning of Xiao Ling's sword meaning at that moment, and then transformed the true meaning of sword meaning into the understanding of stick meaning, and then taught these to Wan Lin, which led to Wan Lin's sudden realization of stick meaning in the battle. The soaring stick spirit seemed to strike everyone's heart at this moment, and the entire Haotian sect also walked out of the shadow of failure just now. Although Wan Lin lost just now, relying on this opportunity, Wan Lin actually comprehended the stick spirit. This is not a loss no matter how you count it. Of course, everyone also knows that the reason why Wan Lin was able to comprehend the stick spirit was all due to Chu Xinghe's guidance. So junior brother Xinghe, you are unfathomable. Just now I won with the sword spirit, and now you have comprehended the stick spirit. Why don't we have another fair fight to decide the winner? That on the martial arts stage, Xiao Ling looked at Wan Lin who had comprehended the stick spirit below the stage. Although she was extremely surprised, this aroused her desire to fight even more. As Xiao Ling's voice fell, the martial arts field suddenly burst into cheers. Fight again! Fight again! That Wan Lin's eyes also lit up. She lost to Xiao Ling's sword spirit just now, and she was also very unconvinced in her heart. Now that she has the opportunity to fight again, she is of course willing. But just when Wan Lin was about to agree, senior brother Xinghe beside him suddenly spoke up. Xiao Ling, are you humiliating my Haotian sect? Chu Xinghe used his spiritual power to speak, and the sound shook the entire martial arts arena. The entire martial arts arena was quiet at this moment, and everyone looked at Chu Xinghe in confusion, including Xiao Ling. Another battle? Humph. Do you mean that our Haotian sect can't afford to lose? As the world's #1 sect, our Haotian sect is never afraid of failure. Today we have set 3 battles. Since you win, you win. Our Haotian sect is willing to accept the loss. Losing and not being able to lose, our Haotian sect can accept the loss, but we will never find any excuses for losing, and we will never do shameless things that we can't afford to lose. After Chu Xinghe said this, the whole place fell silent, and no one dared to mention another battle. Seeing this, Chu Xinghe breathed a sigh of relief. Damn! I finally got the first black, but this little girl almost ruined my efforts. Warm tips: if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to let us know. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. Chapter 38: The God of Fire arrives. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The entire martial arts arena was silent for a full 10 seconds. Chu Xinghe's words were like heavy hammers hitting everyone's heart, especially those Haotian sect disciples who had just called for another fight. Now they all lowered their heads. They really didn't think so much just now. They just wanted junior sister Wanlin to fight again and win. But after hearing junior brother Xinghe's words, they realized that Wanlin had already lost. If he could fight again after breaking through after losing, then could the other party also fight again after losing? When would the winner be determined if this cycle continued? Isn't this what junior brother Xinghe said about not being able to afford to lose? Haotian sect is the world's #1 sect. It's not that Haotian sect has never lost, but Haotian sect has never been able to afford to lose. Losing and not being able to afford to lose are two concepts. Haotian sect can lose, but it must never be said that it can't afford to lose. All the elders looked at Chu Xinghe solemnly at this time. At that moment just now, Wanlin broke through, and many of them actually thought about whether to really fight. But at this moment they realized that they were obsessed. This is a competition between two sects, not a private fight. Losing is losing, winning is winning. If you lose and comprehend, then fight again. Isn't that nonsense? The elders' eyes were filled with great approval. Today, Haotian sect lost the first battle to Woody City. Of course, he felt very uncomfortable, but Wanlin broke through on the spot and comprehended the meaning of the stick, which was enough to make up for the failure of the first game. What made the elder even more gratified was that when Xiaoling took the initiative to ask for another battle, when countless disciples shouted for Wanlin to fight again, Chu Xinghe was the most sober person on the field. If Wanlin really fought again today and won by chance, how would the victory be counted? If Haotian sect wins, how will the outside world see Haotian sect after hearing this news? Let's see. Haotian sect can't afford to lose. After losing a battle, the disciples will break through and continue to fight with others until they win. If this is really the case, what face does Haotian sect have? What reputation is there? Sect Master Gu Mingqiao looked at Chu Xinghe with burning eyes. Xinghe is a good boy. When Xiaoling took the initiative to ask for a fight just now, he was also thinking about whether it was appropriate to fight again, but Xinghe thought about it before him. He knew that even if he won another battle, it would not only not bring any benefits to Haotian sect, but would make Haotian sect lose face. He stood up in time to stop it. At such a young age, he could think so clearly and consider the pros and cons so thoroughly. This child is really surprising. Although Qing Xiaotian was smiling all the time, the disappointment that flashed across his face was still caught by Gu Mingqiao. In fact, Qing Xiaotian was the one who wanted to fight again the most. Whether Wanlin won or lost, it would definitely be a huge blow to Haotian sect. If it was spread out, it would mean that Haotian sect could not afford to lose. Qing Xiaotian thought that Wanlin would agree without hesitation because of his youth and vigor, but he never expected that Chu Xinghe would consider it so comprehensively and not give any chance at all. Looking at Chu Xinghe standing there, Qing Xiaotian couldn't help shaking his head. What a good child. What a pity. Why isn't he from our Woody City? The first battle, Woody City wins. The elder announced the result of the first match directly, which also meant that Xiaoling's initiative to fight was directly ignored by the elder. Although Wanlin's eyes were a little disappointed, the understanding of the stick in the battle made Wanlin's inner demons clear away. She knew that she couldn't defeat Xiaoling today, not because she was not strong enough, but because of the face of the sect. In the face of justice, she chose to endure it, but Wan Lin believed that one day she would definitely let Xiaoling lose to her stick. The moment Chu Xinghe heard the elder announce the failure, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. It was too difficult for me. It was almost, just a little bit, after a short rest, the second match arrived as scheduled, Ma Liang versus the big rhino Jingbo. How to evaluate this battle? In Chu Xinghe's words, it was so long and stinky. Ma Liang is very strong, at least he is definitely outstanding among the disciples of this generation, but the big rhino opposite Ma Liang is a monster. Facing Ma Liang's sword, this guy did not dodge or evade, and used his body to withstand every blow. What is speechless is that Ma Liang's sword, which he used with all his strength, could not even leave a white mark on the other person's flesh. What kind of defense is this? But soon I learned from the elder about the horror of this dragon rhino bloodline, the innate bloodline known as the strongest defense in the world, coupled with the unique Xiangjia Gong of Wudi City. This superposition makes the big rhino's defense reach a level that is almost abnormal. However, there are pros and cons. The dragon rhino bloodline is strong, but people with dragon rhino bloodline have a characteristic, that is, low intelligence. This big rhino is not stupid, he is really a fool, so the defense is there, and the attack is a mess. This guy has no organized attack at all except chasing Ma Liang on the field. In the first half, Ma Liang attacked in various ways to find the weakness of the big rhino. After failing, Ma Liang began to use his speed to dodge the big rhino. The battle lasted for half a day, and finally Gu Mingqiao spoke. Brother Xiaotian. In my opinion, how about ending this competition in a draw? Brother Mingqiao's words are exactly what I want. Neither side can do anything to the other, so a draw is appropriate. Both bosses spoke up, and the elder who had been watching for a long time almost vomiting blood announced the end of the tie without saying a word. Even after the elder's announcement, the big rhino ignored him and continued to chase Ma Liang. In the end, Xingyu went up and pulled the big rhino back. This big rhino ignored everyone else, but only obeyed Xingyu, his brother. If my brother said that I couldn't fight anymore, I would come back to eat. Ma Liang walked off the stage with his head down, and it was obvious that he was unwilling to win. Ancient dragon rhino bloodline, let alone you are at the same level as him, even if you surpass him by 1 or even 2 levels, you may not be able to break his defense. You have done very well. The elder personally comforted Ma Liang, which made Ma Liang regain his confidence. After a short rest, until the evening, the third battle that everyone was looking forward to also arrived. Chu Xinghe of Haotian sect versus Xingyu of Wudi City. The elders of this battle were different from the previous two. In the previous 2 battles, the elders would give some explanations, but this time, the elders said nothing, because the elders believed that Xinghe was different from others and did not need any explanations from him. The moment Chu Xinghe stepped onto the stage, a thunderous cheer broke out. Xingyu on the opposite side frowned and looked around. Looking at the disciples of Haotian sect who were cheering for Chu Xinghe, Xingyu really couldn't understand how Chu Xinghe did it. It's understandable that a person is excellent, and Xingyu is also excellent, but it's a bit unacceptable that a person can be liked by the entire sect. Even if he is as excellent as Xingyu, there are still many brothers and sisters in Wudi City who don't like him, and they have also made trouble for him in private. But looking at Chu Xinghe here, every one of the Haotian sect who cheered for him around him was sincere, and it was not because of the sect competition at all, but from the heart. Even in the past 2 days in Haotian sect, Xingyu secretly learned that no one in the entire Haotian sect said a bad word about Chu Xinghe behind his back. How did he do that? Fortunately, Chu Xinghe couldn't hear Xingyu's inner voice, otherwise he would definitely tell him that he went to the wrong place and went to the outer sect to find a man named Chu Xinghe, who would definitely not let him down. With the start of the elder, the third battle also kicked off. A ball of red flames bloomed all over Xingyu's body. The first color of the 7-color glass body is red flame. And when the red flame was ignited, a statue of Zhurong condensed behind Xingyu. 7-color glazed body, 7 ancient gods. The rumors are true, this Xingyu is extraordinary. 400 years ago, Wudi City relied on the 7-color glazed body to sweep the world, and was an invincible existence in that era. Later, it was because the inheritance of the seven-color glazed body was interrupted that my Haotian sect surpassed Woody City in one fell swoop. Now Xinghe has inherited the seven-color glazed body. Woody City is unwilling to be second and wants to regain the throne of first place. Seven-color body, seven-color god, Xinghe has inherited the seven ancient gods with his own strength and obtained the seven-color glazed body. I wonder if Xinghe can win. Xinghe has a seven-color glazed body, and Xinghe also has the Haotian sword box. Now it is not 400 years ago. Countless elders are staring at the martial arts stage. The flames turned Xinghe into a giant of fire in an instant, and Zhurong's god image fell from the sky and matched Xinghe perfectly. The god of fire is coming, a divine voice fell, and the entire martial arts arena was instantly engulfed by flames and turned into a sea of fire. Xinghe Jr. brother, be careful. Countless people in the stands were shocked as they watched the fire storm sweep across the martial arts arena in an instant, but it was useless. The speed of the flame spread too fast. Almost in an instant, Chu Xinghe was engulfed in it, but just when everyone was worried that Chu Xinghe would be burned to ashes, a cry of the vermilion bird came from the flames. A pair of huge flaming wings spread out on the martial arts arena, and the vermilion bird, burning with divine fire, was born in the flames. Chu Xinghe stood in a sea of fire, and the white spiritual energy on his body turned into Haotian's fighting spirit. The fighting spirit formed a white spiritual wind, surrounding Chu Xinghe like a storm, with the vermilion bird on top and Haotian's fighting spirit fully open. This Zhurong divine fire could not hurt Chu Xinghe at all, the old Fushu chuckled. Zhurong's divine fire was strong, but Suzaku's spiritual fire was no joke. It was impossible for Xinghe to defeat Chu Xinghe with Zhurong's divine fire. Xinghe was obviously aware of this problem. Suddenly, orange light turned on his body, and a god with shining starlight appeared behind Xinghe. Xian Shinkenyu, that when the second god descended, Xinghe's body suddenly split into two into four, and became four identical Xinghes. It was impossible to tell which one was real and which one was fake. Such a weird scene made everyone around, including the elder, feel frightened. At the same time that Xinghe split into four in the sea of fire, a yellow light broke through the sea of fire and soared into the sky. Haotian Sword Box. Locust. Chapter 40. The First Person of the Young Generation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The martial arts performance is over. The elder announced that the martial arts competition was a draw, with the first match of Haotian sect losing, the second match being a draw, and the third match being a victory for Haotian sect, but Cheng Xiaotian shook his head directly after the elder said this. Elder. Haotian sect can afford to lose, and so can Woody City. In this situation, Woody City cannot afford to lose this person in a draw. This time, Woody City loses with conviction. Cheng Xiaotian's words were absolutely correct. Originally, the third match was the key to victory or defeat in the three matches. The seven-colored glazed body faced the Haotian sword box, and the king would be decided in one battle. But now, not only Xinghe was defeated, but Chu Xinghe also killed the big rhinoceros and Xiao Ling in a flash of purple lightning, so anyone can see that this draw is probably not going to be a draw. Even Cheng Xiaotian himself had to admit that Chu Xinghe was unfathomable and the number one young person in the world today. Even if Xinghe and the other three joined forces, they would never be Chu Xinghe's opponent. Chu Xinghe almost crushed the entire Woody City with an invincible posture. This draw was something that Woody City could not accept if they had any face. Woody City took the initiative to admit defeat, so the elder naturally couldn't say anything more. He took out the elixir and gave it to Cheng Xiaotian. No need for the elixir, and cancel the dinner tonight. I have something important to do in Woody City. We will leave Haotian sect tonight. Cheng Xiaotian's face was as ugly as a child who had just died. He left Haotian sect directly with Xinghe, who looked back every 3 steps, the fainted rhinoceros, and the weak Xiao Ling. However, before leaving, Cheng Xiaotian looked at Chu Xinghe and said that Xinghe would come to challenge him one day, and hoped that Chu Xinghe would be generous with his teachings. Chu Xinghe nodded blankly, because Chu Xinghe was not thinking about this at all at the moment. I just want to know what the star shifting technique is. How did I win? Why don't you guys want to draw? Is it okay if I'm wrong? if I knew this would be the result, I would definitely not be angry, I would definitely not be right. The big rhino flashed with purple lightning, can't I let him fly? Hey, don't leave, come back and discuss, can we have another match, whoever wins is a grandson. Chu Xinghe really wants to vomit blood, I'm just a jerk. What output level, output bottom line, what level, what bottom line, now I have no underwear to win, if I had known that they set the fire at the beginning, wouldn't I just lie down directly? Zhu Rome's divine fire, isn't it reasonable that it is stronger than Zhu Chue's spiritual fire? So it's not far-fetched that Zhu Ke can't stand it and goes on strike, right? Now it's good, I'm fucking gone, I've even made them angry and run away, rakeage, this must be the blame for me, are you so strong and worthy of me? Wu Diqing left, but the dinner of Haotian's sect was not cancelled, just kidding. If we lose today, let alone the dinner, there will be nothing, but today, not only did we win, but the combined wins of the previous 15 competitions were not as comfortable as this one. In the past, Haotian's sect could defeat Wudi City, but each time it was a narrow victory, and Qing Shaotian left with a look of unwillingness to lose, but this time was completely different. Xingyu said that he lost with conviction, and even when the elder said it was a draw, Qing Shaotian himself could not admit that it was a draw, because the loss was too tragic. Junior brother Xing had defeated the 3 strongest people in Wudi City by himself. What's more terrifying is that Xingyu, who junior brother Xinghe faced, got the 7-color glazed body, 400 years ago, when Haotian's sect took the throne of the world from Wudi City. Wudi City said that it was just that our Wudi City's 7-color glazed body was lost, and the day when the 7-color glazed body was recast was the day when Wudi City returned. This time, Xingyu inherited the 7-colored glazed body and entered the Haotian sect to challenge. It can be said that the whole world is paying attention, everyone is discussing whether this battle is the return of the king of Wudi City or the continuation of the legend of Haotian sect. And now the answer is revealed. Chu Xinghe fought Xingyu's 7-colored glazed body alone, and he didn't even need to use his full strength to defeat Xingyu, making Xingyu say that his senior brother showed mercy and convinced him. Then the thunder shadow purple lightning flashed and killed the ancient dragon rhino bloodline and sword intent duo in a second, which was a shocking battle. Such a record is really brilliant. God bless Haotian. That at the dinner, the sect leader Gu Mingqiao raised his glass and shouted these 4 words in person, and everyone below shouted together. God bless Haotian. Good heavens. Chu Xinghe looked helpless, and shouted along with his mouth. Countless senior brothers, sisters, brothers, and sisters came to congratulate Chu Xinghe, and even many elders came to congratulate Chu Xinghe, but Chu Xinghe had no interest in this at all. Chu Xinghe just wanted to know what the hell was called the star shift art. Finally, Chu Xinghe found the elder. Elder. What is the star shift art? Hey. The elder who never liked to drink burped and looked at Chu Xinghe blankly. You broke the star shift art. Can the elder tell me more about it? Oh. The 7-colored glazed body has 7 gods condensed, and each god has his own corresponding magical power. Among them, the magical power of the mysterious god is the star shift art. Not only can it split into 3 identical clones, but it can also activate the star domain art to create an illusory puppet and hide the puppet in a certain location, and then all the damage you suffer will be transferred to the person or object where the puppet is. Damage transfer? That's what I mean. The elder said and continued to drink with others. Chu Xinghe was so angry that he almost took off his pants and threw a tantrum. Damn it. I blamed Xingyu wrongly, I thought this guy was an actor. When the 4 Xingyes took selfies together, Chu Xinghe thought this guy was going to play himself, but he was wrong, totally wrong. This guy should have transferred the damage to himself, so when he took selfies, he would be injured instead of Xingyu. On the contrary, his own injury would rebound and hurt Xingyu. That's why the purple lightning of his own rakeage flashed and killed Xingyu in seconds. Chu Xinghe's tears came down. He had never expected Xingyu to play this. Tell me, Xingyu, why did you play this? Can't you be good? If you were a little more normal, you would be the protagonist of the dinner today. Young man, you can't go down the evil path. Chu Xinghe drank a lot of wine. Anyway, Chu Xinghe accepted all the toasts from anyone. The lucky General Ma Liang was not idle, telling people everywhere how wise and powerful senior brother Xinghe was. Do you know, the defense of that big rhino is simply abnormal to the extreme, but what's the use? It was killed by senior brother Xinghe's sword. That Wan Lin was not idle either. In fact, after comprehending the stick meaning, Wan Lin even had the idea of trying his skills with senior brother Xinghe. After all, he had comprehended the stick meaning, and it was the strongest stick meaning. Although it was all thanks to senior brother Xinghe, Wan Lin was a little bit arrogant, but after the flash of purple lightning, Wan Lin completely understood. Senior brother Xinghe was so powerful, how could the gap between him and senior brother Xinghe be made up by the stick meaning? And senior brother Xinghe's last attack that broke the opponent's sword meaning must be because of me. Senior brother Xinghe knew that he could not fight with the opponent again, but he still used this method to help me deal with the opponent. Senior brother Xinghe is really the first person of the young generation. Chu Xinghe didn't know how the banquet ended, but when the drunk Chu Xinghe was sent back, he kept shouting, "I just want to lose. I really want to lose. Let me lose. Please." Many drunken brothers stood in awe of brother Xinghe's outrageous words. Brother Xinghe defeated Jingyu today, and he is the best of the young generation. However, brother Xinghe is not arrogant at all, and even prepared for failure at any time. We need to learn from this mentality. Yes. I heard that brother Xinghe once told sister Wan Lin and brother Ma Liang that they were nervous and uneasy when facing the martial arts competition because they were afraid of failure. Because of fear of failure, they dared not desire victory. Yes, yes. Look at brother Xinghe again. He never takes failure seriously. In this way, failure will never catch up with brother Xinghe. Brother Xinghe's realm is worth learning for a lifetime. Finally, Chu Xinghe was sent back to the room. Feng Fei, who was also drunk, proudly covered brother Xinghe, who was shouting that he only wanted to lose. The news of the battle between Haotian's sect and Wudi City also spread rapidly to all parties. When seeing the result, almost everyone was stunned. Why did Haotian's sect win in 3 battles with 1 win, 1 loss and 1 draw? Many people's first reaction was that the Haotian sect was so shameless, but when they saw that Chu Xinghe killed 2 people with 1 sword and even fought Jingyu without using his full strength, all parties were stunned. The name of Chu Xinghe was naturally known to all the major sects, but this time Jingyu entered the Haotian sect with the 7-color glazed body to challenge. To be honest, more people were optimistic about Jingyu. After all, Wudi City was once the king, and the 7-color glazed body was the foundation of Wudi City's invincibility, but in this battle, Jingyu lost so miserably, and Chu Xinghe could even easily defeat the 3 best disciples of Wudi City by himself, which really shocked countless people. I don't know how many people were sleepless that night. And I don't know how many small notebooks wrote the name Chu Xinghe. Similarly, the name Chu Xinghe has become an imaginary enemy in the hearts of the major sects and even the young generation of the world. Defeat Chu Xinghe. You can be crowned the first person of the young generation. I don't know how many young people with dreams tossed and turned that night, they fantasized about defeating Chu Xinghe, but the more they fantasized about it, the greater the pressure the 3 words Chu Xinghe brought to them. The name Chu Xinghe had become a mountain that the young generation of the world wanted to climb. In the outer gate of Haotian sect, Chu Qing also tossed and turned all night without sleep. He was wrapped like a zongzi, and muttered to himself with a mouth that was as big as his sausage. Why? I am the first person in Kaoshan village. He Chu Xinghe is second. I, Chu Qing, am a man with the potential of a great emperor. I don't accept it. I, Chu Qing, am just a dragon swimming in the shallows. How can Jin Lin be a creature in the pond? Once it encounters wind and clouds, it will turn into a dragon. Bang! The door was kicked open by a fathead fish. Who the hell is making a fuss here? Can't you let me sleep? You don't want to live, right? Beat me. No one knew how long the beating lasted, but Jin Lin must have to stay in the pond for another year or 2.